with the hackerspace, and this is what they think, right? But that's not right. Neither is it this, although that's a little bit closer and wouldn't be so bad. The reality is it's a lot closer to this. You know these people, it's Steve Jobs and the other guy whose name begins with W. Yeah. So the idea with part of the motivation behind hackerspace is when you have like a group of people working on something that they're interested in and passionate about, just like tinkering around in the garage, great things happen. We all know what happened with these guys. I mean, Bill Gates, same thing. The Wright brothers. I'm a aerospace major here, so I'm a big fan of that story. Yeah, basically, if you get a bunch of people, like-minded people together, wanting to be creative, you can make some pretty cool stuff. So I'm sure, I mean, we're all engineers, or I think we're all engineers. If you're not an engineer, that's okay too. You still have creativity, I'm sure. We all have crazy ideas of stuff that we want to make. And a lot of times, they just stay ideas because, you know, you can think of something, but I mean, putting it into actual, putting it into action is a lot more difficult. You need tools, you need equipment, you need money. You know, maybe you just don't know where to start. So you need other people. And so a lot of times the ideas just stay there, or maybe you think they're too crazy, and so you just don't even, you don't even consider actually even trying. I found this is a pretty good quote from my son. I like it. First, an idea is not observed, and there is no hope for it. So if you're like me, you probably have had all kinds of crazy ideas. You want to build your security robot. I know you guys just the club's into internet security, so I think we've all thought about this at some point or other. So how do you go about doing that, right? I mean, because maybe you have like a screwdriver and a hammer in your apartment, and that's not going to cut it. So instead, you have hackerspaces, and this is also the part of the presentation where it was 1 a.m. and I didn't have dinner yet, so no more funny pictures. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's the idea of a hackerspace. Is it's kind of a community workshop. You have a physical space. You fill it with tools. Members can come in and just use it like it's their garage. And so what you end up with is a lot of I'll say it this way. Basically, once you build a hackerspace, people start giving you stuff. It's pretty cool. There's a number of hackerspaces in the area, and as we were the group that I'm working with trying to start one up, that's basically what they told us, is that the hardest part is getting it started. Once you have a space, then companies, organizations, like people are just like, hey, I'm cleaning out my garage. I've got this, a bandsaw. You guys want a bandsaw? I'm like, sure. So you have a space. You have a space where you can actually work on projects. You end up with equipment, and then you end up with other people who are on the same page as you, wanting to, just wanting to be creative, wanting to do whatever, and so that you end up with that creative energy that you bounce off each other. And then the other good thing about it, the idea with the hackerspace, is that it's for people who can't afford to rent the space themselves. They're not going to go out and buy these $1,000 piece of equipment. And so it lets you collaborate and share this stuff. So sounds awesome, right? When are we gonna is there a hackerspace around? Is this ever gonna be possible? Well, yes, it is. MagLab is the name of the hackerspace that I've been involved with. There was a couple of guys who have been working on it since last November, so for about a year. The one guy who it was his idea in the first place. He's been playing around with the idea for a couple of years. I came on board in February, and for a long time it was just like 3 or 4 of us meeting up once a week, trying to figure out how we were going to do this thing. Working on getting nonprofit status, all that. couple months ago, we just had a bunch of people contacted us. There's a website, hackerspaces.org, where you can put your, you put the address of your hackerspace up there. And so a bunch of people contacted us off that. Long story short, we got a place and we moved in. We started moving in beginning of October. And we're doing our grand opening on this Friday. And want to get as many people involved as we can. So it's real close. It's it's right there on Valley. If you know where the Sugar Rush Cafe is, if anyone is familiar with that, it's that same industrial park. It's just like on the other side of it. So yeah. Okay, one more funny picture because I saw this last night and I thought it was funny.
It's kind of weird thing.
All right. So now let me show you if I can figure out how to do it. Where's mine? There it is. I want to show you some pictures of the actual space. Yeah, can someone hit the lights? That we can do lights. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Okay, awesome. So, go back. So this is the space. Doesn't look like much probably, but it's it is pretty great. You can actually go there and see it. It's about 1,200 square feet. I mean, it's kind of amazing to us who were starting it, how like we went from nothing to like getting all this stuff, right? So let's see, we've got pegboard. We're slowly filling up with hand tools. It's slowly starting to make it feel homey, as you can see. We've got a lot of woodworking tools, a couple chop saws, a couple drill presses. These are just from these pictures are from yesterday, actually. So we're still we're cleaning up for Friday. The way it's been happening is we'll get everything cleaned up and organized, and then someone will show up with like a whole bunch more junk, a couple more boxes. And all right, well, let's figure out a place to put all this. So yeah, we got a couple couches in there, so it's not all just equipment. Injection molding machine. This is pretty exciting. Once we get it up and running, basically what that does is it allows you to make, to make and even to mass produce any kind of plastic part that you can that you design. You have to fabricate a mold for it, and then you just you make your parts. So that's pretty cool. Also oxygen. That's some welding equipment. Oxygen tank acetylene, and then the other one is for MIG welding. This is we have kind of the small office area is going to be the electronics room. Now that's probably what a lot of you guys are interested in, and unfortunately most of my background is woodwork and metalwork, so I don't know a whole lot about what all we're going. I know we have an oscilloscope, a couple of soldering stations, and just filling up with components. But that's one of the cool things about a hackerspace is I don't know much about electronics, about computer security, all that, but I'm excited to learn, and that's one of the cool things about a hackerspace is you share talent, you share knowledge, and and you can teach each other. So you guys can teach me about Linux, and maybe I'll teach you about metalwork. There's our lathe. If anyone's got any questions about what any of this equipment is or what it does, feel free to let me know. Everyone know what a lathe is, more or less?
Yeah. Is it
Spins and you allows you to cut.
metalworking, woodworking lathe?
I'm sorry?
Is it a metal lathe or a wood lathe?
It's a metal lathe.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good size too. So. Yeah, and that's a lot of this. Just a word on a lot of this heavy equipment where we got it was one of the guys. His old company was bought out, and so they were selling off a bunch of their equipment. And it was basically like, hey, you can have all of this for $50 if you can move it. So it's been in storage for the last several months, and we moved it to the space. over the last few weeks. That injection molding machine. Anyone, everyone here play Oregon Trail?
Yeah.
Remember that game? Remember the feeling of when your wagon was fording the river, and you're just watching it cross, and you're just like, please don't flip, please don't flip. That's exactly what it felt like trying to transport this thing from storage. Because we have a crane, you can kind of see part of it that you can we were able to winch up a lot of the equipment, but this guy, it weighs probably, I don't know, maybe 900 pounds or something, and there's no good place to chain it to, and it's also too tall for our actual crane. So it took us 2 or 3 hours just to get it onto the cart, kind of half winching it up and then trying to pry it, and then just sort of oh shit, everything's about to break, oh no, everything's about to break, just push it up there and get it onto the cart. And then the cart was very small, and so there was probably about an inch of clearance between the rim and the actual road. So we brought it back from where was it? It was in Claremont, I think, back here to Valley, going about 20 miles an hour. Had to stop halfway through to try to get air in the tires, and it had to stop a couple times because it was bouncing so much that the tires were just getting really hot. We were all kind of amazed when we got it back, and then managed to get it off the trailer without damaging it or killing anybody. So yeah, pretty exciting. Most of the other equipment, yeah, it was heavy, but not nearly as much as that guy. So basically, we're never going to move ever. Alright, so massive air compressor. That's pretty cool. A lot you can do with that. I wasn't there for the adventure of getting it up onto the table, up onto the shelving, but I'm sure there's probably a story in that too. Down below, I don't know if I have another picture of that. It's a sheet metal brake. So yeah, Trent, again, one of the guys, who ended up with all this equipment, just has just tons of boxes of random components or random, machine parts and gears. And a lot of it goes to the mill, but a lot of it's just kind of cool. You pick it up and you're just I have no idea what this is. But maybe we can turn it into a potato cannon or something. So, mill. There's Trent working on the mill. He just got the, I forget what it's called, the part where you actually lay the pieces on it. It was he fixed up some of the screwing on that. So, okay, there's the sheet metal brake. Oh, I forget, and I didn't take a picture of it, but over on the left, that's a sandblaster. Big sandblasting station. So you reach in with your gloves and you can do some pretty cool stuff with that. Clean the stuff off pretty well. Clean up middle part and whatnot. There's Trent again on the mill. 3D printer. Everyone familiar with 3D printers? This is just a little guy. This is one of the ones one of our members made a while ago, and but yeah, it's definitely something that a lot of people in the group are interested in and want to continue making larger ones. Or there's one type that uses the extruder is on. It's 3 screws. It's got 3 arms, and so that's how it moves around with that. It's pretty cool. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But basically, we've got everyone's got all kinds of ideas of stuff they want to start building. Things aren't. Not everything is up and running. The mill we're still working on, the injection molding machine, still working on. But it's we're basically just getting started. But I think you can kind of see where the potential is. Once we get everything going, it's basically it's everything from serious projects. You need to fix something or build something for your house. You want to make a prototype for a possible a business product, or you want to just make turn a riding lawnmower into a go-kart with a trebuchet on the back of it or something. Whatever. It's basically for anything you can think of. electrical room again. So yeah, so that's basically it. Now there's a couple other hacker spaces in the area. There's Null Space down in LA. Some of you might be probably familiar with that. 23B down in Fullerton. So we're just we're another one. It's nice to have one close, especially close to campus. We're a lot of us are students already, and we're hoping to get more students. Something about membership rates. The way it works is there's two levels. There's general members and then keyed members. Keyed, obviously, you have a key, you have 24-hour access. General membership is $35 a month. Keyed is $70 or $75 a month. Sorry. The way it would work is you would become a general member for a couple months, and then we make sure that you're a decent person, not gonna steal everything or kill somebody with a swirl saw or something. And then you can nominate you to become a key member if you want. That's pretty good prices for hacker spaces compared to the other ones around. I mean, most of them are in that area. You can also bring guests if you're a member. So we want to keep it pretty informal. This isn't a business. It's not a job for any of us. It's basically, we want to have it for everyone to just come and be creative, have fun, learn, all that. So, it's kind of an honor system. You can, if you come with a member as a guest and you want to help them out, that's fine. I mean, if you show up a bunch and you're kind of working on your own projects and you're just saying you're a guest, then we're probably gonna be like, hey man, you should probably get a membership. But talk to us, because we're all broke, so it would work something out. But basically, the idea is we want to keep it. It's here to be fun and to learn with. So, any other? Okay. And then the opening, as I said, grand opening is this Friday at I should know this, but I think it's 7. I'm actually not going to be there, but yeah. So like Zach said, if you go to Frag Night, come by afterwards, or you can go there yourselves. The address will be on an email that Zach's going to send. Zach is actually a member of MedLab. Glad to have him. So that's basically it. Anyone have any questions? So I guess I should just say, even if you can't come by on Friday, then by all means, come by, talk to Zach, talk to, well, you don't know me, but if you see me, you can talk to me. Our weekly meetings are Tuesdays at 7:30, so you're always welcome to come by then. Friday evenings, there's usually groups working on projects of some sort on 7. And then after that, other than that, it's there's usually people there, or there's often people there. You can show up and see, and if the door's open, just head on in and introduce yourself. We are working on a system for an online notification system to see, so you can just check and see if somebody's there, so you don't have to drive by. But in the meantime, yeah, hope to see you there.
Yeah. Question in the back?
One last question. Are you interested in getting another compressor or 2 or 3?
Sure, why not?
Alright.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You build it and people start giving us their stuff.
Do you guys have your IRC channel up yet?
Yes, I believe so. I haven't messed with it.
I'm the only one in it.
What is it?
Is it on free?
And it is free node. So if you want to, you guys know how much we love IRC, right? Swift loves IRC. So I hopped right on there. It's MAG Laboratory on Freenode. So hop on there. You can keep me company. I think I'm still the only one, but as time goes on, more of the members should get used to it. Hop on. and it'll be a great way to see if somebody's at the space, to see if people are working on similar projects. There's some neat projects going on right now.
Yeah.
Do you wanna talk a little bit about the ping pong ball?
You probably know more about that.
So, one of the projects that they're doing right now, they're using the chip kit for that, right?
Yeah, it's part of a competition, chip kit competition.
So Mag Labs is running, or is participating in, a competition for a chip kit, which is kind of like an Arduino, it's a microprocessor. And, they're participating in this competition that, the makers of the chip kit are running to sort of generate interest. What they're doing for their competition entry is they're making an audio visualizer with ping pong balls and LEDs. So basically, it's a bunch of tubes, and you guys know what an audio visualizer looks like, right? You get a frequency spike for, oh, here's some bass, here's some highs. They have them on old boom boxes and stuff. And so there's an air compressor, and it pops the ping pong ball up in the tube, and then there's LEDs underneath, so it lights it up, so you can see the audio visualizer. And using and in real time, it reads in the music and figures out how to visualize that. So that's a pretty cool project. And they're trying to get another 3D printer up and running. Most of the projects right now are just revolving around getting the equipment at the space working.
Yeah.
But there will come a point in time when all the equipment there is working, and I think we'll see a lot more projects spring up.
Yeah, definitely.
So-
And it's a combination of stuff that, projects that like the group is working on as kind of an official project, or just, things that individuals want to work on, or, you meet up, a couple people collaborate. I mean, it's all, it's basically, you treat it like it's your garage. That's the idea. One thing I did want to talk about though that's pretty exciting is a thing called an organization called Space Gambit. And if anyone is interested in space anything, then that would be, you'd probably be interested in that. What it is it's a kind of a loose confederation of hackerspaces working on space, like on the space program related projects. Whether it's I think biospheres is kind of a big is one that a lot of the groups are interested in. We're still figuring out what we're going to do. One of the projects we have in mind is using regolith, which is like lunar material. Regolith or just sort of basically dirt, stuff that you find off an asteroid, and trying to use that in an epoxy resin configuration and see if you can use that to make building materials. Because that'd be kind of cool, I think. But I mean, there's all kinds of possibility for that. One of the most interesting things about that is that Space Gambit actually has a $500,000 DARPA grant that the different spaces can apply for. So I think you're going to give different spaces can get up to like $10,000 to work on the project. So that'll start kicking off in January. We can start submitting proposals for that. So yeah, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, it would be a good time to get involved with the space. Start getting your input. So, yeah.
Well, so once again, let's give a round of applause for John. I really wanted to bring him out here to talk about this because this is something that I think is going to be instrumental in changing how people look and think of home projects, because technology has advanced a lot in the past 10 years to the point where stuff that used to be really expensive to do at home is now really inexpensive to do at home. But you don't always have the tools necessary to do so, and you shouldn't have to have all the tools necessary to do so. You don't need to buy a $10,000 piece of equipment for one project, right? So hackerspaces are a great way to build prototypes, to test things. If you're the sort of person who likes to do projects at home, then that's awesome. If you're the sort of person who has never done a project at home, this is a great opportunity to come in and learn how to use some of this equipment. I know a lot of us in here are software or electronics, and a lot of the stuff they have in the space right now is more mechanical. How cool is it that you can go into a place like this and use this equipment and learn how to use it in a way that's safe for you, and you can build projects with it. It's awesome. So I've been interested in trying to start a hackerspace for several years, and then one of their other members contacted me and said, "Hey, we have a space, let's go." So it's very exciting to be in on the ground floor. That's the cool part about the space right now, I think, is it's still in formation. It's being made. I mean, it's available, it's ready for use, but there's still a lot of things that have to be figured out. And if you're interested in helping form that, then now's the time to jump in on that. So, Friday, grand opening. If you can't make the Friday opening, then the Tuesday meetings. I go to almost all the Tuesday meetings. So,
And I know a lot of you guys did come once to one of the meetings.
yeah. So, all right, guys, thanks. Well, so next week, so Friday, Frag Night, or grand opening. Next Tuesday, Professor Pike is going to be coming in and speaking. He's a CIS professor, and he's going to be talking about network security. So that should be very interesting. I'm excited to hear what he has to say, so make sure you show up next week. There is pizza left, so I don't want to have to take it home. Please don't make me take the pizza home.